Live, trance, and prosper. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian David Phillips, and welcome to 5 benefits of hypnosis. These are 5 science-backed health benefits, or benefits for hypnosis that have been shown to be helpful via scientific, rigorous research. Okay? Now, I know some of you consider hypnosis to be a scam or magic or circular New Age thinking, and certainly the hypnosis community is full of folks who are indeed the opposite of critical thinkers. But that doesn't mean just because some hypnotists are off-center, it doesn't mean all hypnosis is invalid. Actually, hypnosis has gone through cycles of acceptability and dismissal. In the 19th century, there was a period when pretty much any doctor or scientist worth his salt wanted to learn more about mesmerism or hypnotism. And then things happened. A lot of folks started ascribing benefits to hypnosis based upon conjecture or just fanciful imagination, and sometimes the imagination got kind of squirreled into what people believed. Today there's a whole lot of folks who think hypnosis is much more supernatural than it is, partly because there were authors who were writing fiction who used it as a plot point and described effects that just weren't so. Actually, there was an Edgar Allan Poe story involving hypnosis where the hypnotist hypnotizes a man who is dying just between life and death and kept him suspended in that state for a long time. That story, a piece of fiction intended to be a little more than terrifying, was published in a number of European newspapers as an actual case study, as fact. And it seeped into the public consciousness an expectation of what hypnosis was or wasn't. It was fantasy, folks! When we look at actual hypnosis, there's a lot of benefits. Now, I mentioned the Poe story because in the 19th century, there were a whole lot of folks getting into using hypnosis. It was actually on the way of becoming a major form of anesthesia. It stopped partly because of the discovery of chemical anesthesia. That's an awesome thing. It knocked folks out much more reliably than many of the hypnotists were working, although if you use hypnosis as an adjunct to anesthesia, folks require fewer drugs, they heal quicker, and they have a much higher possibility of living. In the 19th century, lots of folks with amputations died, and there wasn't, it was pretty much take a stick and bite on it, and don't move, I'm removing your organs. Whereas with hypnosis, they could dampen or eliminate the pain. And then chemicals came in, and once they started using chemicals, then hypnosis kind of dropped from that. But in other areas, hypnosis was really getting a lot of play because of the work of Elliotson and the likes. And unfortunately, some of these folks believed hypnosis could do things that it doesn't really do. For instance, there were medical hypnotists who believed that folks could be hypnotized to see through others. And so there was a parlor trick of folks who were hypnotized, and then someone would hold a book up behind someone else, and then they would read the book. I can tell you right here that the folks performing that trick, well, they were performing a trick. It was a mentalism gag, and there are methods to signal people on passages, pages, and words, so it appears to be they're seeing through, but actually they're looking in the mirror at the pages, and no one realizes it. Unfortunately, when some of these fraudsters were exposed, it was then assumed that all hypnosis was a fraud, and that's really too bad. But if we eliminate the frauds and the circular thinkers, and we just look hardcore at hypnosis and therapy, then you'll find that there's a whole lot of folks who think, who have found through academic study and actual clinical trials that hypnosis has a number of health benefits. And so let's take a look at these. Now, hypnosis is a state of inner absorption. It's an experiential, concentrated, focused attention state. And that state can be guided for a number of benefits. Okay, and that's why the Mayo Clinic early on, after actually even when hypnosis was discredited because of the failures of some folks who didn't have enough critical thinking, Mayo really led the way in terms of anesthesia. But what they didn't publish was that their anesthesiologists actually used suggestive therapy with the chemicals, so they used fewer chemicals and things like that. And they had a much higher success rate. But shh, don't tell anyone we're using hypnosis. And that's actually what happens today with a lot of folks. Okay, what can hypnosis do? It's absolutely been shown that because of its ability to harness the power of the mind, hypnosis is employed to relieve anxiety related to a number of medical procedures. And so when folks are afraid of something coming up, you can use hypnosis to reduce nerves. And certainly part of that is giving birth. Hypnobirthing is using hypnosis in order to remove the fear, which increases pain. And so by removing the fear of childbirth, I mean, every woman hears from her mother, yeah, I was in labor for 27 hours and your head was the size of a watermelon. And it was so painful. You owe me. But really, birth doesn't have to be so painful. It can actually be an incredibly loving, joyous event, as it should be. Of course, you feel pressure. There is a human being coming out your vagina, so there is pressure, but hypnosis can be used for childbirth. It can be used to reduce pain, reduce anxiety, stress reduction related to heart disease, and things like that. Hypnosis has been shown through academic studies to improve deep sleep. Folks who go through hypnotic processes enter into a much deeper and healthier sleep. So there's that. Hypnosis has been shown to help a lot of folks with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. And if you suffer from IBS, you know that it sucks. It sucks much. But hypnosis has been shown to actually help with those symptoms. And folks who go through even just weekly hour-long hypnosis sessions. One study with the APA had 71% of 204 folks with IBS improved their symptoms or eliminated them by going through once a week a 1-hour session. Of course, you can increase your odds by doing daily meditations or hypnosis sessions and learning self-hypnosis. And so that's as much as 81% of folks, or 85 in a 2012 study, reported success for IBS. Hypnosis can help you with your hot flashes. And that, I'm not talking about the temperature outside. I'm talking about, well, hot flashes for menopause. So postmenopausal women often report hot flashes. Hypnosis has been shown about 74% in one study, similar to the IBS one, had success in dropping their degree of hot flashes, and that's important because women who don't do hypnosis typically report about a 17% drop over time when they work with a therapist, and they don't use hypnosis, but if they're working with a therapist who uses hypnosis, that's a 74% drop. Hypnosis can be used for pain relief, managing chronic pain, or for dealing with emergency pain. Actually, one of the areas that hypnosis is very, very effective for is emergency pain relief, and of course for chronic pain. And there are some wonderful things that you can do with that. Now, the AMA back in the 1950s recognized hypnosis as a very valuable treatment. Since then, they have rescinded their recommendation. Partly, it isn't because they changed their mind on hypnosis. They changed their mind on hypnosis practitioners. Because some hypnosis practitioners, in their view, are the opposite of competent, and unfortunately there are some folks who are not particularly competent. So if you're going to a hypnotist, make sure you go to a competent, trained, qualified hypnotist. If you're wishing to learn hypnosis, go to someone who knows what they're talking about and can help you learn correctly. And there's a lot of very good hypnotist instructors out there. If you're in Taiwan, come to one of my classes. If you're not in Taiwan, contact my wife and Lorraine and I are partners, and we'll set up a course for you. We're happy to go anywhere on the planet, or go to one of the many qualified, competent folks in your area, of which there are quite a few. So that's it. 5 benefits of hypnosis. Some worthwhile look at some actual benefits that have been proven. There's obviously a lot more out there, a number of benefits to hypnosis, well beyond what this short video can cover. I just wanted to give you a quick overview, and we'll catch you on the flip side. This is Dr. Brian David Phillips. Go to my website, URL's down there, and catch you later. Live trance and prosper. Bye-bye.